Clerk, read the caption to Senate Bill 39. Senate Bill 39.
Senate Bill 39 by Senator Mullis, the 53rd. Bill being Title 48, relating to sales and use tax, provide for 1% sales tax need to fund transportation projects, provide for related matters, and conditional effective date. Bill having been for the House Committee on Transportation. The committee recommends the bill pass by a committee substitute, and that this bill be read for its third time.
Chair recognizes Representative Gardner to explain the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the House of Representatives. Many of you know that MARTA, the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, is facing the most difficult financial challenge in its 35-year history. Senate Bill 39, which you have the committee substitute, Senate Bill 39 came out of the House Transportation Committee unanimously. What Senate Bill 39 does, it's a very simple bill, provides MARTA with the flexibility it needs to balance its capital expenditures and its maintenance and operations budgets. It was more than 35 years ago that we had a vision for a regional transit authority for the metropolitan region. At that time, when MARTA was authorized, a formula was put in the bill that required 50% of the revenue from the sales tax from Fulton and DeKalb to be used for operations and 50% to be used for capital expenditures. That was when we mandated the 50-50 formula. 6 or 7 years ago, we provided some relief for MARTA. We changed the formula. We recognized that it was an aging system that needed more money for operations and maintenance than it did for expansion. We changed the formula to 55 for operations and maintenance, 45 for capital expenditures. That provision sunset at the end of last year. So MARTA is back with a 50-50 mandate. After 35 years in existence, MARTA has matured. The vision that we had 35 years ago for a metro-wide regional transportation authority has changed dramatically. Several of the suburban counties have developed their own transit systems. MARTA remains funded only by Fulton County and DeKalb County. These two counties have borne the expenses of MARTA for 35 years. And after that time, expansion is less of an issue than maintaining and operating the system that we have. So MARTA has matured. MARTA also has new leadership. Many of you have met the new leader, Dr. Beverly Scott, who is a national leader, experienced in transit. In fact, she is the chair of the American Public Transportation Association, Transit Association. MARTA is maturing, and MARTA has new leadership. I have confidence in the ability of this new leadership to make MARTA work. Now, MARTA's never been perfect. You've heard the criticism. Salaries are too high. It's not efficient enough. It's not an easy job to run a transit system in a city like Atlanta. But if you look at some of the national evaluations of MARTA, they actually do very well. Their salaries are lower than many other transit systems. If we look at the efficiency numbers, they do very well with comparing with their peers. They're 7th in operating expense per vehicle mile. They're number 2 in comparing operating expense per revenue mile. Their fare box recovery They're number 5. In many efficiency and effectiveness comparisons, they do very well. Transit has never been more important to our region than it is right now. This bill provides survival for one of the finest transit systems in the country. You know, most of us are pretty tired of mandates. 50-50 of how you're going to run your business is just another mandate. So rather than mandate a new formula, Senate Bill 39 removes the formula. I put an amendment on your desk to help deal with some of the controversy that I've heard about. It is AM 330763. What this amendment does, which is supported largely by the delegations from Fulton and DeKalb, is it creates a sunset. It allows MARTA to be relieved of the 50-50 mandate for 5 years. And after 5 years, the General Assembly will take another look at the 50-50 mandate to see if it is appropriate to have that again. There may be some other amendments to this bill, and I would like to say in advance that just changing the formula to 55-45 or 60-40 really doesn't help MARTA enough. In their published figures, which I think some of you have on your desk, it points out that the amount of money that they need is $67 million. Even an improvement to 60-40 would only provide half of what they need. So I thank you for your time. At the appropriate time, I would like to offer the sunset amendment. I'm happy to answer a few questions, but this is extremely important for a struggling transit system. We are fortunate in Georgia to have a rapid transit system, and at this point in its 35-year history, we need to maintain it and give it the operating ability that it needs. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. If there are no questions, I yield the will.
There are questions if you wish to yield the
I'll
questions.
answer a few. Thank you.
Representative Chambers has a question to your right and towards the middle. Straight back. Representative Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The chairwoman of MARTOC. Thank you very much.
Does the lady yield?
Yes.
Representative Gardner, is there any prohibition on stock market speculative investments or real estate condo development in this bill?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you further yield?
Certainly.
Would you be accepting of a friendly amendment to prohibit any tax revenues from being used in those purposes?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
There are. Representative Smith has a question to your right.
Yes, Representative Smith.
Thank you to my friend in the well. What is the current sales tax in Fulton County and DeKalb County?
Well, you know, we all have been paying an extra penny in Fulton and DeKalb, so we are now at 7%.
Is it not true this is local legislation that only involves DeKalb and Fulton County? Is that correct?
Right, but at the time the bill was authorized 35 years ago, they determined that it would be a general bill. We have always advertised in the 5 counties out of an abundance of caution, but you will notice it is not on the local legislation calendar, so it is certainly a matter of importance to those of us who live in Fulton and DeKalb, but this is not a local bill, it's a general bill.
Will you yield further?
Certainly.
Since this is not a local bill and it is a general bill, does this affect any other transit authority in the state of Georgia other than MARTA?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Representative Taylor has a question to your left.
Thank you, Representative Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. Does the lady yield?
Certainly.
I have a few questions. My first question is it not true that there are more than 500,000 Georgians every day who ride MARTA?
It's a gentleman so states.
And like you stated, it's also true that MARTA has a new CEO. Is that